That sandbar that you can see down there, that's Platypus Beach. That's one of two sandbars that make up the northern beaches here in Wangaratta. And I'm going exploring the northern beaches with my Deeper Chirp Plus fish finder to see how deep they are. Hey you! You're watching Robbie Fishing. Northern beaches. Here's the map. I'm here. I'm going to go down there, then down there, then down here. I'm going to do a quick scan at Kingfisher Beach, which is the secondary beach. Then I'm going to walk back along and do a scan at the main beach, which is Platypus Beach. Then walk back to my car. Let's get scanning. Holly and I often walk around here of an evening with the O lights, and it's not uncommon to see 20 or 25 possums. This place is crawling with possums. Kingfisher Beach. Right, now I'm just setting up for my first scan, which is Kingfisher Beach. Kingfisher Beach is the smaller and the shallower of the two beaches down here at the northern beaches. Now I'm just setting up my Deeper app. I'm on shore fishing mode, I'm on raw. If I put it on basic, it just gives me the depth. You can see it's just starting to scroll across now. It doesn't really give me much detail. I'll put it back into raw. Beam angle is on narrow. I've got the sensitivity quite high to start with. I've got fish icons turned off. And I've got the fish depth turned off. Now the colour, which one do I want? Daytime mode or nighttime mode? Daytime mode. That's going to make it a bit easier for me to see in the bright light. Let's go and start scanning. Right, now I'll start scanning up here on the upstream side of the hole where the fast shallow water comes down and slows down. So what have we got out there? There we go, 1.4 metres. A snag or something under the river just there. It's dropping away just there. Into 2 metres. Right, now I'm going to reel that in and cast that over the other side there where it's a bit calmer. Two metres, 2.1. I'll wait for the current to grab that. 2.3 metres out there. Not much showing up underneath. Those blue streaks and lines and everything you can see are probably just air bubbles because I've got the sensitivity up really high. 3 metres deep just there. Wow. There's a fair bit of structure on the bottom just under the thing now. There's a fair bit of structure underneath the fish finder over there. Look at the structure showing up there. 2.3 metres with lots of structure. Hopefully there's not too much structure there under the Tarzan swing. Well, look at all the structure showing up under the fish finder there now. Here we go, now it's starting to get a bit of interference. I'm saying there's probably branches coming off that tree that it's floating over. Now where we are here, there's quite a bit of structure under the fish finder there, which I'm assuming is coming from that tree that we can see laying in the water. But it's also only about 1.5 meters deep, so it's significantly shallower than what it was up there. Now at this point I'm going to reel it in because it's out in the middle of the river, and I'm going to cast it over towards that steep bank. So right in front of that bank there, straight away we've got 1.7 metres, 1.8, but not a lot of structure, but it's nearly 6 foot deep. Now, what does 1.8 metres look like? Looks like me, because that's how tall I am. 2.2. So where it is there now, it's 2.3 metres, and there's quite a bit of structure down the bottom there. Now look at the logs coming across the bottom there now. It doesn't look like much from the top. You can't see any logs going into the water. But when you look at the fish finder here, you can see there's a big log laying under the water down there. It's about 2/3 of the way down too. An ideal hiding spot for a Murray cod. 2.4 metres with a smooth bottom now. So the log is out there. I'm going to cast that out again. Directly in front of the bank over there, 2.3 metres. You'll see when it first hits the water, quite often there's a bit of a spike up and down. That's just from the deeper unit itself. When it hits the water, sort of floating and bouncing up and down a bit. But 2.5, 2.6 metres. I never realised it was so deep along there. Not a lot of structure. There's just a consistent 2.6. There's a little bit of a log or something laying on the bottom there. I said I can actually see a bit of structure in the middle of the river out here, so I'm say we're going to get something showing up any second, and here it comes. Now you watch, something will show up right near the surface now when I reel it over it. Right about now, I reckon. There it is. I can actually see that one at the top there with my eyes. Right, so just standing right in the middle of the beach here, I can tell you where the good spots are. Just off the edge of a strong current where the water enters the hole, there's 3 metres of water and lots of snags. It's quite snag free under the rope swing. There's a bit of stuff on the bottom, but not a huge amount. There's a big snag under this tree just here, so that corner there and that corner there are the hot spots. Along here is okay, but then about halfway along this real featureless bank down here, it drops down to 2.5 metres and there's a big log on the bottom, and that'd be a good spot to fish, because a lot of people wouldn't cast to that log because nobody knows it's there. Pretty much in front of those couple of trees there, out here in the middle, 2.3, 2.4 metres with a big log on the bottom and a nice big hiding spot for the fish. That'd be my pick, just downstream of that branch by about 4 or 5 metres. Now let's get down to Platypus Beach, where I suspect it'll be a little bit deeper. That track there is where I came in before. Platypus Beach. Right, now it's quite a long sandbar, so I've got to sort of draw a line in the sand, no pun intended. I'll start at this structure. I won't worry about up there or the video will be way too long. But I'll cast this out into all that structure. What do we got there? 2 metres right there, and no doubt there'll be lots of structure showing up underneath. You can see it's just passing over that log in the background, and there it is showing up on the fish finder. So now the the Chirp Plus is drifting away from all them snags. There's still a snag under the water there, it just showed up on the sounder. 2.4 metres. And now we're coming through here. There's a section of not much snags, 2.5 metres deep with hardly any snags. But I suspect if I cast the unit over further, there'll be snags closer to the bank. What do we get over there near the bank? 1.9, 1.8, 1.9, 2. There we go, 1. Oh, look at that, there's all kinds of structure under there. 2.4, 2.5, 2.6 metres. I think in the old school that's around about 8 or 9 feet. Oh yeah, look at that, right where it is there now, there's heaps of snags and a huge big bit of structure on the bottom. All that blue lines and interference you can see, that's probably because I've got the sensitivity turned right up. That's probably just air bubbles in the water or something. I can get rid of them by turning the sensitivity down. There's a fair bit of stuff under the water over there. I'm running up over this log there now. Actually, right where that is now, I was fishing here only a few weeks ago with my friend Jerry and his wife Kate, Jerry and Kate Dent. And Jerry caught a couple of nice cod right there because I swam out to that branch there where the sounder is. So Jerry, if you're watching, you're in 2.5 to 3 metres of water with lots of snags. It's easy to see why you caught cod there. But I reckon the deepest part of the hole is going to be down here, closer to those rocks. Right where that just landed, we used to jump out of the tree that used to be there. That's the tree there laying in the water now. It used to stand up on the bank and we used to have a Tarzan swing on it when I was a kid. This North Beaches here used to be the most popular swimming spot in Wangaratta until they put a fence up 100 metres away. Now you've got to walk 100 metres to get here. So now everybody just goes to the junction where you can drive right to the water. Look at that, 3 metres of water over there and lots of snags right throughout the water column. Any wonder we catch so many fish here. 3.3. 3.3 metres. Quite a consistent bottom around that area, but lots of snags. And there's a snag only not even a metre under the surface just there. 3.2. I'm going to reel it in. I'm going to cast out a bit further. Oh, that's right over near the other bank. Right up hard against the bank there. I'm literally only 1.5 metres from the bank and I'm in 2.5 metres of water. Oh, it's going up. There it is. I was just about to say I suspect there'll be a drop off somewhere there shortly, and there it is. 2.9 metres and snag central. .9 metres. The snags have stopped. I know there's a snag out here somewhere because I stand on it when I'm swimming. I'm expecting a snag to show up mid-water column any second, but I think it's a bit further downstream. 3 metres. A little bit of an uneven bottom there. Right, now I'm going to reel that in. This is where I caught a yellow belly and a Macquarie perch just recently on Williams with Brett, right on dark. Now I'm expecting to find a snag about 1 metre under the surface or a bit more between here and my sounder. So it's showing me 2.8 metres there. 2.8 metres and I'm only leaving 2 metres from the bank. Somewhere here it is, there's a snag. Is that the one that comes right up high? 3.2 metres out there and there's a snag on the bottom. I didn't find the snag that I know is out there just under the surface though. 2.8, 3, 3.1, 3.2 metres in structure just there. There's a lot of structure on the bottom over there, 3 metres of water and the structure's 2 metres down, so it's all sort of 1 metre or so off the bottom. Now you might be able to hear a fair bit of background noise here. There's a lady with about 5 kids up behind me. Probably wondering what the strange man's doing down the river with a camera on his head casting a grenade across the river. Right. 1.8, 1.9, 2, 2.2, 2.6, 2.8, it's just hit 3, 3.1. No structure there though. Oh, hang on, look under there now. There's a heap of structure. That must be the one, there's one you can stand on when you're swimming out there, and I reckon that's it. I've never seen it, but I stand on it quite a lot. It's 1.3 metres down, which would be about waist deep for me, so I reckon that's the snag. I've still got 3 metres of water down here, 3.4, 3.6. So far that's the deepest part of the hole, 3.6 metres, just out from the bank there. You're just crawling back slowly along the sandbar. As you can see, the sand is coming up shallower and shallower. Well, let's have a quick overview. Before I start, I apologise if the quality wasn't real good at Kingfisher Beach. I forgot to lock my screen so that it couldn't rotate, and that normally reduces the quality. But anyway, Platypus Beach, from that branch out there sticking out of the water, all the way to the top of the pool up there where the trees are across the river, we're looking at 2.5 to 3 metres deep. 2.5 to 3.5, 3.6 being the deepest, but 2.5 to 3.5 metres all the way through. The bottom end of the hole here, not a lot of snags. The deepest part of the hole is smack bang in the middle of the sandbar, where it gets to 3.6 metres. And from the centre of the sandbar upstream is where most of the structure is, most of the snags, most of the holes, most of the logs, I mean. So theoretically the best fishing should be between those trees, those branches up there, all the way along here to about the middle of the sandbar. Beautiful cod water all through there, deep and snaggy. The bottom end down there, well, it's deep but not as snaggy, but then right down the bottom there's heaps of snags lining the bank. It's easy to see why so many people catch so many fish in this hole. It's a popular fishing spot for a reason. There will be native fish all along the bottom there under all of those logs, and each night when they're hungry they'll come out onto the sandbar to feed, and that's why we catch so many fish here. Well folks, that's the northern beaches, called the northern beaches because there's 2 beaches and they're on the northern side of Wangaratta. Now I'm going to leave a link in the video description below to where you can buy a Deeper fish finder. This one that I'm using today is the Deeper Chirp Plus. It's the top of the range, but it's the best they've got. And if you use the discount code Robbie10, you will get 10% off. Not just the Chirp Plus, but any model fish finder from the Deeper store. Discount code Robbie10. There's a link in the description below. But you can see how awesome they are. I know exactly now when I come down here where the best spots are to fish. I know where the deepest spots are. I know where the snaggiest spots are. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you've liked this video. If you have, why not give it a big fat thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video.